Hello, you guys. I am live. Hey, everyone. Hey, I am anybody wanting to join the conversation. This is the after show to the Conversations with King. We was with all the queens. We were talking about, do women do too much for the ring? And so it kind of spiraled because, that's how we do. We start talking about the topic and we delve into it. We get in deep. And so then we started to talk about the manosphere and how manosphere is representing women. And so now we got Sister George, who is a representation from the manosphere. She believes heavily in some of the philosophy, I said some, because she also has her own spin on, these ideas, but we're going to talk about it. But most importantly, we're going to talk about my birthday. So let me tell y'all something. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Okay. Like this, share it so people can subscribe. Also get y'all a drink because we're going to have a drink for my birthday, y'all. I'm about to be 38 in an hour. 2 hours, I guess. But I'm about to be 38. And I need y'all to celebrate with me. Hey, everybody. Oh my God. Thank you. Yeah, yes. Thank you, Sherelle. I got to highlight you. You my girl. I cannot wait to talk about this conversation. I am so excited to have Sister George on this channel because she really does have a unique perspective, and she does really represent, everything that probably annoys you about the manosphere, but also you can respect at the same time. You like, oh yes, that's right. Oh, I don't want to agree to that, but how can I disagree with holding somebody accountable? So we're gonna talk about that. Oh my God, thank y'all. I love my panel. Every last person, Mayette, Hanifa, Jen on the block, everybody is represented. Evolutionary Playboy, Chris, everybody from my podcast is supporting me today. And I love that. Thank you guys so much. Chris, it was his birthday, the Evolutionary Playboy. It was his birthday. So he's a Sag. He's a fellow Sagittarius too.
Oh my gosh, I'm a Sag too.
You're a Sag too? Okay, when your birthday?
November 26th. So I'm a Sag with Scorpio tendencies, honey.
Okay, so my mom is the 23rd. So you guys, y'all have some Scorpio tendencies, but y'all Sagittarius, for real.
Yes, honey.
You're the end of the month. Okay, so tomorrow, December 8th is my birthday. I'm calling it the year of completion. I'm literally saying this is my year where I learned so much. I have so much growth. Things changed in my life. You got married in June, Sister George. I got married in April.
Well, congratulations. And I didn't even get a chance to wish you happy birthday, but congratulations and happy birthday. That's dope.
Thank you. So we are freshly married. We do married. And so it's just so much that was happening in my life. So I'm calling this the year of completion for me. This is my year, and I'm wrapping it up. And so I decided, for everybody who's following me, thank you so much. Thank you guys for subscribing. Get my likes up. I appreciate your support. I decided to launch this on my birthday because I always want to remember that I decided to step out and do this by myself on this day, And so I was like, what better day is it than to just be on the podcast, like showing that, what, I'm about to be out here. I'm going to be broadcasting shows, showing you my perspective. This channel is called Gems and Jewels. And so I want you guys to know that it's exactly what it says. I'm going to be dropping gems and jewels. I don't care if I agree with it or not. I want you guys to hear everybody's perspective. I want you to absorb. I want you to learn. I want so much to happen. And King, I love King. King is the most supportive. He is really the reason why I decided to step out and do this. I appreciate him so much because without King, like I probably wouldn't have had the courage to do this, y'all. And thank you to people who followed me from way back when I was on that other show that I will not name. Uh, and so I will drop the StreamYard. Some people want to join the StreamYard. I will drop it in the chat. So yes, yes, yes. Anybody who wants to come on and say happy birthday or talk about the topics, I am. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, Lover Boy, because you will highlight us and you make sure people know where to go, who to follow. I appreciate you so much. But you know what? I love that conversation that we were just having, Sister George. And what was the question? Can you repeat the question that Jen kind of left us off on, where it was like cliffhanger? It was like,
Yes.
ooh. And we were like, wait, what? So I really, really, really want to talk about that because I feel like you will have a perspective. You're going to get us all riled up. That's for
Honey,
sure.
that's what we do. Sag, baby. I'm coming through to start the
That's
fire,
all
honey.
riled up. Go ahead. Tell us what the question was. Do you remember? Because I want to remember.
I think I wrote it down,
Okay.
and it was from Blaze Brown. And Blaze Brown asked me, did anyone hold me accountable when I was a single mother? So, when I was a single mother, I won't sit here and tell you that I wasn't some crazed bitch who showed out from time to time. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all that I wasn't her. I remember a situation where my son's father told me he was going to do something, right? And I can tell y'all what the situation was. He told me he was going to pay daycare, and he was going to pay daycare up to a certain point, and he called me and told me, no, he didn't call me and tell me he wasn't going to do it. He just didn't do it. And so I started calling him because the daycare money had to come from me. And I'm calling and I'm calling and I'm calling and when you called about the third time, you start to get real angry. And then if you're a Sag like I'm a Sag, then that temper something serious, especially a Sag with Scorpio tendencies, baby. That temper something, oh, it's vicious. And I called and called and called, and then I cursed him out. When I finally got in touch with him, I cursed him out. And I was talking to my mom at the time. My mom's deceased now, but my mom was like, baby, that's your baby. When you had a baby and you weren't married and you weren't really able to hold him to, he's not in the house with that child. That's your baby. If your child doesn't have a food, that's your responsibility. He can go run off into the sunset. He could be all that he can be. He can do whatever he wants to do. That is still your child. You are solely responsible. You are the custodial parent. So you are accountable for that child. So if that child doesn't eat, if that child is missing a meal, if he is missing a sock, if he hurts his toe, that is all going to fall on you. Anything else that man does is extra, being that that is not your husband. That is somebody that you dealt with. Now, that was your boyfriend, whatever, whatever. But even if it was a fly by night, that was somebody you chose to deal with. And you are totally responsible for that child. That's all you. When I took that approach, and I didn't rely on him, I think things ended up working out much better because it wasn't like I was calling because I needed him to do anything. I already had it, and I got myself into a position to where I didn't have to rely on him. But now, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he didn't take care of a child after the fact, but he had gotten married around that time too. And so I really looked like a crazed heifer, calling him, going off on him, screaming on him, showing my natural black ass with him because he said he was going to do something and he didn't do it. And I felt like, well, you said you was going to do something and you the son's father, so you should. But at the end of the day, he was a choice that I made. And being that we weren't married, I feel like men should have they do have an obligation to their children, but what if they don't follow through with that obligation? What happens then? Somebody has to take care of the child. I'm the custodial parent. Being that I didn't choose to give my child up to his father, that's my responsibility. I had to
Okay,
be
okay.
accountable
So
for that.
let me ask you this. So you saying that your mom, in that instance, you felt like your mom was holding you accountable,
Yes.
and you felt like because she was saying, "Hey, this your child. You need to take responsibility for that child." That was to you kind of a rude awakening for you to be like, "Wait, I can't rely heavily on this man to help me out,
Right.
even though he helped me make the baby."
He helped me make the baby.
Right?
But even if he didn't want the baby, and I still wanted the baby, and I had the baby, then what? It's his child, but it's still I still have total autonomy of what I choose to do with that child. If I chose to abort the child, he wouldn't have had any responsibility then. You know, if
Well,
I
okay, so
chose.
do you feel like I guess I'm trying to figure out, were you shamed? So do you feel like that's shame?
No, I don't. I didn't feel like my mom necessarily shamed me more than making me accept responsibility for my own choices and responsibility for something that I created. Whether a person chooses to do whatever, I'm only responsible for my portion of that creation, and my whole son is my whole son. You get what I'm saying?
I guess so people are saying, okay, because you kind of support a atmosphere where women are shamed for their choices, i.e., being a baby mother, i.e., not being married, i.e., being fat or not desirable to men.
Mm-hmm.
Were you shamed in that same way and manner in which the manosphere shames women who do
Yes.
that? And
Y-
so I guess we want to kind of hear, how were you shamed and how did that help you
I
become
would say
better?
before I got to the manosphere, I was on Facebook, and I used to be a part of a bunch of different Facebook groups. And with me being in those Facebook groups, I was heavily sisterhood in those Facebook groups. But I just noticed that men started to have a lot of similar stories, and it would be men from the West Coast, men from down south, men from the East Coast, men from wherever. A lot of them shared a similar story. So I'm not going to say I was shamed in that environment, which prompted me, but I noticed that everybody wasn't telling the same lie. Being that I participated in some of the same behaviors that they talked about. I had a mother that was on drugs at one point. My mother participated in a lot of the things that they talked about. My grandmother was raised, she left home early, but she was raised in the country. They went through a cycle of abuse. They experienced a lot of abuse by the hands of their own mothers and grandmothers and aunts, as opposed to not only by men, but also by each other. And so when I took that into account, I was like, okay, I can kind of see where I can see where the men are coming from, because everything that they said wasn't a foreign concept to me. And it was like, okay, got it. Came over to the manosphere. I've been in the manosphere for I've been creating content over here for about 2 years, but I've been in the space for about 3. They shamed me all kinds of ways. They told me I was a single mother. They called me all kind of bitches and hoes and strags and sluts and anything that you could imagine that you could tell somebody. My husband used to be my husband was actually a part of the manosphere.
Right. Okay.
I actually met my husband on Facebook. I met my husband on
I
Facebook
was going to
while
ask you if you met your husband on Facebook.
yeah, I
Okay.
met
How
my
can you
husband.
align? Okay. Even if you agree with some of the ideologies, I'm not saying that all of them are crazy. Like some of them are realistic and understandable. Even if you do, how can you align with an atmosphere of people who are calling you derogatory names and
Um
criticizing you as a woman? Like, how can you relate that to accountability? I guess that's where I'm missing. I need to hear this. Like, I don't get it.
well, I won't say that all of those actions, because I feel like it's two different things. You calling me out of my name isn't going to make me respond or react or whatever, whatever. But if you're sitting here telling me that you've experienced abuse at the hands of your mother, or you've been raped or molested by a woman when you were 12, most black men I know lost their virginity to older women at a certain point. So if you tell me that and you're identifying those type of problems, that's not that's not a shame on me. That's not you shaming me, because those are things that I never did. But if you're telling me that you've seen those behaviors from black women, and you're saying that this happened with black women, and I can also say that this happened with black women, when I get to the space, I can also say what happened to me. I can also say, well, I've experienced this from black men. I've experienced this from black women as well. So you can't sit here and tell me that, well, you're a bitch or you a slut because this, that, and the third. So then if I call you a pookie or a ray ray because you went to jail and then you corrected your life, I'd be wrong as well. So like I said, I think we're in a very unique position because me and my co-host are able to call it out on both sides. So it's not like the manosphere sits there and all they do is talk down on us and we don't have anything to say and we're just nice old good old submissive women. You men are just so right and we don't. It's not like that. I'm definitely not here to sell you that. I would say that a lot of those conversations are needed because there is so much going on. There's a huge gender war, and that gender war is starting to widen between men and women. I think because we don't have a lot of understanding of each other. I don't think we've been honest with each other about what goes on behind closed doors. It's a lot of stuff going on that we don't really talk about. And I would say our channel kind of has those conversations. We'll have those hot button conversations.
Well, let me stop here because I do want to introduce King, and I do want to highlight him because I really have so much respect for him because he really, 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 truly wants us all to win. And when you align yourself with people who want you to win, it's like you can't help but support them and you can't help but always have their back. And so like King knows, he like I got his back, whatever he wants. Like I try my best to, be there and support him. And so King, I told you, you're going to be on my first live. I told him that.
I'm so happy I'm on your first live, and it's so special to me because it's going to be a birthday in 39, literally 39 minutes, right? And I'm so glad you took this time, the hour before to celebrate it with us. And I'm so happy that we're close to 50. I think we got the 50. Did we get the 50? You're on 48? Did we get the 50?
48. We almost there.
We need two more.
We need everybody who log on to subscribe.
Everybody, because people are subscribing and they did come out. Believe it or not, 50 subscribers on your first day is a lot.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot.
I'm so grateful. I'm so humble. I'm so humble. And I do want y'all to know, like,
in less than 3 hours, 50 subscribers in less than 3 hours. That's a lot.
I want y'all to know that, like, I plan to post so much more. I plan to talk about so much more. We're going to bring Sister George back. We're going to bring King back. Like, there is so much that I want to talk about on this channel. Right. But I do want to address this whole entire topic because we were like, do women do too much for the ring? Do they do too much? King, kind of give us an idea, like, what you thought from the conversation and what's your perception now?
Well, I'm going to say that the women that do too much are not the women that I want. And the women that I truly desire, they don't do enough. See, I'm caught in the middle, right? So the ones that I do really find attractive and want to build with, they're not doing enough for me to commit. And the ones that I don't want as much, they're going hard, so I give them a chance. But then I end up in a situation where I'm not really attracted to the person that I need. And so this is what I'm battling right now: the woman that I want and the woman that I need. And it seems like the women that I need are the ones that are making themselves available and accessible and making me priority. Most men, and I don't subscribe to the manosphere, the red pill, right? Officially. However, I got a red hat. I basically essentially understand where they're coming from. I need to be priority. if I'm giving my life to you and I'm taking care of you and making sure that everything is right. My only issue with the red pill and manosphere, or it's not the whole manosphere, it's the men that require women to be submissive, and you're not giving her the environment. She's going to work, she's taking care of kids, she's cooking for you, and then you expect sex. No, it doesn't work like that. What happens is you give a woman the environment that she wants, you empower her, and then you can ask anything you want from her. My thing is, I want to ask anything. I'm taking off my shirt because he's flexing too much. I'm taking off my. I'm messing with you, but at the end of the day,
Oh, y'all trying to get me to cheat? Stop.
yeah,
I'm kidding.
Not at all.
I'm
Not
kidding.
at all.
I'm
here, 50
kidding.
likes. Come on, let's do a clap. But I'm here 50 likes.
No, Sister George. Women in the manosphere do not cheat. What are you talking about, girl? They do not cheat. You better cut it
Now they
out.
might cheat back. They might cheat back, but
Yeah, but let's at the end of the day, we want to make sure that Wana is the mother, and I'm going to say the last time I say it, but the most important time that I say it, and it's documented. Wana is the mother of this. MUVA. Why is she the mother of this? Because most of us, if not had a start at Lapeef Network, we got blown up over there, and we also got our training over there. Even though I don't get along with them, I have to give them props because it was a platform, right? She was the original. I remember the first time I talked to JR, and he might not admit to this. He said it was all good when I had Anton, the other Kappa brother. What's his name?
B Nix.
B Nix. I'm sorry for the crack. B Nix. You.
Shout out to B Nix. That's
And himself. Those four were the original, and they built this thing. They built that mothership. So she's the original, and from her comes all of us. So I always give homage to the originators.
Thank you.
Period.
I am so humble by that because I literally, when I started doing that podcast, didn't see it as like a trendsetter, and we really like started so slow. We had 10 subscribers we were talking to constantly, but we never gave up, and it just blew up overnight. I looked around and we had 10K followers. I was like, wait, and then it blew up from there. So we just appreciate you. I appreciate the people who've been following me since Lapeef. Like, that's crazy because you guys have been faithful to me, have been loyal to me. Y'all supporting me on my first live, and I appreciate you all. I appreciate you so much. But I got to call out. Okay, so I also do a podcast called Controversially Correct. And so one of my co-hosts, the Playboy, he is on the Evolutionary Playboy. Let me get it right.
Yes,
The Evolutionary Playboy. He is on the channel, and he definitely subscribes to the Manosphere. Don't get it twisted. He definitely.
But I'll say for the most part, but not fully.
Not
fully.
fully.
It's a lot of nerds on there.
Right.
Have no female experience.
You got about 9 toes. You got about 9 toes in, 1 toe.
I mean, I'll just say I agree with things that make logical sense, but I always have to consider the source. And it's a lot of dudes that never had women, but have a lot of demands.
That's right.
I come from the background from the Bay Area, where being a player was like a way of life. When you had to know how to use that pen and paper. So you know what I mean. When I speak from experience. A lot of guys, they do research and then think that they need to apply that to reality. It don't really work that way.
That's
right.
You
know what I mean?
That's right. I agree. And I think that's the problem that I have on the other end, as far as like with Sister George, when she was saying like, oh, I'm a part of the manosphere. I have a problem with the women on the other end who have never been married, haven't been able to get men to commit to them, and they really will be intentional about giving women advice on how they should do and what they should do to get this ring, but they don't really know because they've never experienced it or not even had the opportunity. So I think that I have a problem with that on the flip side. You know, I think so. Just to catch you up, we were on a previous show. We were talking about, do women do too much to get the ring? Like, is our whole entire life mentality built on what do we got to do to please a man in order to get a ring? What do you think about that, Chris? Like, is that a realistic thing?
I think a lot of women today, they're more sold on the idea of being married rather than what being married really is about. It's more of a look at me type of thing. They want to have extravagant weddings. They want to have extravagant baby showers, put themselves in debt just to show off. You know what I mean? So I just think that the real intention behind getting a ring is not it's not real. So yeah, I just think people don't know what they signed up for. Both on both ends though.
But can
It's a
I ask
lot
you a
of dudes
question?
that want to be the leaders, but they don't understand what being a leader is, the
Mm,
sacrifices that it takes.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just this it's titles, it's shit that you throw around, but responsibility is real. Being a leader is real. No matter what you do, no matter what mistakes they make, it falls back on you as a leader. So if you
Right.
can handle that, cool. But a lot of men don't think about that. And then women on the other end, from my perspective, it's just the title. You meet a girl, you can't even be friends no more. First thing they do is, so what are you looking for? God
Right.
damn, can I get to know you?
Right.
They want the titles, and it's just like you want all these titles. You haven't done any work to show me why I should pick you, especially if I'm a guy that has options. What makes you different? Why should I choose
Wait,
you?
can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a
Yeah,
question.
Ooh.
yeah.
Um, so are you saying that because, to be honest with you, it doesn't benefit you to get married because you do have options, right? It doesn't really benefit you to pick one person because really and truly you could do everything on your own, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah.
don't really need anybody. I'm not sure if you're married or not. Are you married?
I've been with my chick 11 years, so we
That's like
we
married.
damn we married
Yeah, that's
pretty
like
much.
right.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
the question I really want to ask is, what made you choose her?
The thing about it was, when you experience a lot of women, you don't trust women. I dealt with a
Right,
lot of women, right?
right.
So the things that I paid attention to was the innocence, the things that she didn't even know about. And I'm like taking notes. It was a purity. She had a ridiculous body, still does, because she was a elite athlete, a hurdler. So the body was nuts, pretty, and she was just innocent. Kind of too like innocent to the point to where it's kind of annoying, but I definitely appreciated it. So that was the number one thing for me, being able to feel like I can trust her. That was the biggest thing. So
Hmm.
with that, I felt like I can start making an investment.
So what do you mean by making an investment? I mean, I know you're not married, but what do you mean by that?
Taking her serious,
Okay. Okay.
because I mean, you can find beautiful women everywhere with nice bodies everywhere, but to
Mm-hmm.
see something in them that's worth getting to know, that's what stood out.
I had a
It
question.
felt different. So
Go
yeah.
ahead, Sister George. You had a question.
Yeah, you said okay, like with having different women and what makes the woman special. Um, do you guys actually dismiss the woman once you feel like she isn't special enough for a relationship, or do you actually make them compete with each other, knowing that you're not going to really do anything with them?
Me, once I feel like I'm not on the same page, when this is the old me, I used to try to like moonwalk out of there as nicely as I could. Once I saw it was no potential, because I've never been the types of being to trying to lead you on. But looking back at my actions, because I'm 39 now, looking back at my actions in my 20s, it was clear signs that I chose to ignore because of what I wanted. So now I've never made a woman compete. Nah.
Nowadays,
Okay.
a woman has to show me because I know what I'm going to do for a woman. Like as soon as I do it for a woman, I'm taking care of everything. So now it's required. You have to show me why you need to be taken care of, and it could be simple as doing things nurturing or doing something that impresses me because I know what I'm going to bring to the table. I just recently I had my ex come on one of the show, and she said like, I can't stand him, but he took care of me. So I know what I'm doing. I can't stand him, but he took care of me.
Well, what does she mean by that? Give me the context around it. What did
She
she?
said, "Oh, don't trust who he is." And then Steph asked her, describe him. He's the most romantic. He took care of me. He paid for all the bills and stuff. So I know I'm going to do that. I know I have my issues with me, but I'm going to take care of the basics. You don't got to worry about where to live. You don't got to worry about your bills. So if I know that, what are you doing for me?
Well, a
What do
man
you?
like that is going to have requirements, ladies. So I don't want you to get it twisted that, oh, I need to just come as I am and I don't got to do nothing extra. I'm not promoting that because a man like that, he not going to want no woman that's not on her square.
Right.
And so what that means is a lot. We got a lot to unpack. I'm sure Sister Georgia love to jump in there and tell y'all what y'all need to do. But there is some requirements that come with being with a man that is going, if you want a man that's going to provide for you, that's going to take care of you, it's some things that you're going to have to be able to deliver on. And I think sometimes women don't like to hear that. They feel like, well, whatever I'm doing at this moment is enough. Well, it may not be. It's enough if you want to remain in the position that you're in. But if you want to partner, your mentality must shift. Your mentality must adjust and you have to change. You have to understand that, he's not going to want to marry you if you don't want to be a helpmate to him and help him. And that's just reality. I don't know. Women think that being pretty is enough and dressing up and getting all fancy is enough, but that's really only the superficial thing. It's just the basic.
Very surface
It's
level.
very surface.
No, but
That's
you know what? It's
regular.
important though because I need my woman to be gorgeous because I gotta give my daughter a fair chance in this world. Because if it's just my look, she's in trouble. So I need my girl to be gorgeous, right? But that's not it though. You need more, right? Like I need to know that I can trust you with money.
That's right.
I need to know I could trust you with money. I need to know that I want you to teach my kids values, right? That's what legacy. You cannot have a legacy without having a wise woman on your side. You cannot. The problem with me is the woman that I like are not the ones that I should be marrying.
So what kind
I'm
of
talking about
women
that balance. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
what kind of women do you feel like you like but you shouldn't be marrying?
I want the freaks, the strippers, the you know what I mean.
Oh.
I want the girl. I love girls with history, narrative. Like I love those because I like doing certain things with certain people. However, I can't raise my child with that type of woman, right? I can't. I love women that are just starting the hill. You know, I'm about to start.
That's the
I'm
problem.
about to start the healing process. I want to catch her right there. You
It's
feel
the
me?
problem though, because it's like that's what you really want, but you won't
Right.
be with that woman. And why?
Or
It's
they'll settle
Because
for a woman.
y'all wife material, the wives be boring. Like y'all be so boring, but it's necessary, right?
You
If
got to get a Sag. You
it,
got to get a
yeah,
Sag.
but
listen. Listen.
You got to get a
Okay.
Sag.
nah, I'm a
Okay.
Pisces, right?
Oh,
So
you need a Sag in your life because you got to be dogged out.
I'm dating a Sagittarius.
y'all
You
women be
got to be dogged
Oh
out.
my
y'all be like the woman, and I think women know this too. And I think women know that when they get to it, brother, you could probably elaborate on this. Um, One of my biggest fears is that my wife used to be someone's fun girl, and
Mm.
I have that thing. Like I told you about
fun girl
the
you like. The fun girl you
yeah,
want
but
to
I don't want her, I don't want her to be someone's fun. Like my biggest fear, I swear, I think I said on my show too.
He want a
It's
throat goat that go to church every
my
Sunday.
favorite rapper, right? And like yo,
to
I
destroy so he can destroy her though.
like yo, he really did fuck mine, and I don't want that. I don't want somebody. I don't want to be rooting for my favorite ball player, and then and back I'm like my favorite ball player had my late. I don't. It's an
Yeah.
ego thing with me, and I know it's weak. I know it's not mature, but at least I know myself.
Nah,
So
it's not. I don't think it's weak, man. It's just men are territorial, man. We don't want to have nothing that other dudes had access to,
Right.
or like too many. We got to be realistic,
Y'all call it
you
territorial.
know.
I say
It's terror. It's what?
it's
How is
self.
it selfish?
Because how is it that you want the slut and the chick that do all the crazy stuff, but you willing to ruin the good girl's life?
Mm-hmm.
Not
Because,
me.
yeah, because you're gonna wife her up, and you're gonna be with her, but at the end of the day, you're not really committed to that because you really want the wild, hey, the fun girl.
Not
So
me.
now you with this woman that you really truly ain't vibing with. You just with her because of the perception of what it is, the pride.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not me. Me, I didn't want. I wanted the good girl. I got the good girl. You know what I mean? I have fun when I have fun, but like I said, when I started looking back, I was I was basically overlooking a lot of signs that was setups for later. You know what I mean? So it was like I had to change my taste even for fun because I'm like I shouldn't even be interacting with this type of woman at all. You know what I'm saying? Because too much comes along with it. So me, I always want the good girl because I ran into so many bad girls. I was like, they fun, but I never take them seriously. So when I saw something different, it was like automatic. I didn't even have to think about it. You know what I mean?
So Playboy, answer this question because someone asked, and I thought it was a really relevant question. Why haven't you gotten married?
Hmm.
Well, I mean, we're not really. She's not tripping on the title. She already two and has a 2.5 carat ring, not like Centerstone. Like she got that. We got two houses, all
Hello?
the cars paid for,
Hello?
two kids, and we in Cali. You know what I mean? It's expensive out here. So I think we're doing pretty damn good. So we're not really worried about the title. She got the ring, everything she need, everything's taken care of. So that's just like whatever. You know what I mean? She's
So
not really tripping on that.
are
Like
you
Are you tripping on it?
right?
no, not at all.
So do you want to actually put what, like if she wanted to put a title on it, would you?
I wouldn't care at all.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's
No,
good.
not at all.
That's a relief.
Like,
Nah, not at all.
I mean, they have everything already, right? So what do they need that for? Unless it's just for vindication from her sisters. That's what it seems like. It's like vindication from the friends,
That's what I was saying earlier.
So,
right?
You know?
so neither
I
one of you ever want to legally make it official. It's like all to you all. It's already done. You already have a joint life. That's never going to happen. Or are you saying
Oh
that?
no, I mean it can if it's ever like if it's something that like say she wants to do it, no problem. But like I said, we think about different stuff. We think about making these moves to the south. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever consider that
Yeah,
making
that's
it
why she got the
official?
ring,
Okay.
you know, and the houses.
Okay. Okay. So you was just like, I love you. I really respect you. I'm gonna give you these things, these materials to show you that I love you and respect you.
No, what I did was when I met her, I took her off her mom's couch and I bought a house.
Mm,
And I took her out of her car that wasn't dependable
Mm-hmm.
and bought a new one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And when I first met her, I was only making like 40 some thousand a year
Damn,
and was able to still buy a house.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
real.
I put in the real work. I went head up with her family. That was all in her ear. And it was all hateful stuff, because they didn't have nobody and they seen her getting pampered and stuff. And I did it because she's a good person. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it's just like it's not about the materials, it's about all the sacrifices I made, the student loan debt I paid off. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was big because you got to understand. I mean, I want to know I'm honest. I was a whore. I'm talking about 300 plus. So to go from that lifestyle
wait, we
to
had a
like,
question on the show, and one of the guys was like, "How many people you slept with?" He said 300. I was like, "Wait. Can we? Let's stop. Did you say 300? Like, I
yeah.
can't believe that's a real number. Like, who knows 300 people that they want to sleep with?
I mean, when
King,
you an athlete and modeling and you traveling, you got access to a lot of stuff.
King,
Uh,
seriously, is
three.
that a realistic number, King? Like,
Yeah,
I
that's a. Cause remember, it's 365 days in a year, 52 weeks, right? So you remember, if he sleep with every other week, he probably got 20, and he said he been active since he was young. Yeah, you could knock those numbers
let
out,
me
but
see. Okay, over what
Okay.
time?
this is what I'm trying
Not
to tell you.
unheard of.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Those numbers are real. It's actually that's
It's actually lower than what it could have been.
Right.
right. It's
A
right. It's
lot
moderate.
lower.
It's
A
moderate,
lot lower.
right? So, but my thing, this is what I'm telling you.
Wow,
This
there's
is what this is what I'm
700
telling you.
women.
This is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
If I was to go in a party, LA scene, one of Hills party, late night, and my girl walk up to him and give him a hug, in my mind it's like, yeah, he already had her, man.
Oh man, I
And so
wish I
that's what it is.
would.
I meet nice girls, but then I see them smash him. I'm like, damn. And I think he a cool dude, but I can't have him have one over me. You feel me? I can't have him have one over me. He's not gonna have one over me. You feel me?
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
is it that just because a man slept with a, how is that one over you? I need to understand y'all mentality. Why is that? Just because, okay, I had sex with a man that you are associated with or you know.
Right.
But it was before you. Why does that matter?
Okay, it's different. It switches up. If we're in the same circle, in the same network, right? To me, it matters because I don't want no one in my circle to know my woman the way I know my woman. That's it. Now, if he's in a different country, different state, not in my circle, I could care less, right? But if he's in my circle, I don't want him you know what I mean? And here's the real thing. This is me. I gotta have more resources to him for me to feel comfortable with that. I can't have my girl sleep with Diddy. I'm like, damn.
So you feel inadequate.
Let me say this, Jen. You need to come on here. So we talking about lover boy, shirtless guy here. He's the one who had the 300 women. So she's like, whoa, wait.
And he probably stopped counting at 300.
Real talk.
He probably stopped counting. Like we stopped counting.
And that was an old lifestyle. That was
do me a favor and take over for a minute, okay?
All right. Yeah. So is Jen coming up? Oh, but let me ask you a question, and I'm gonna be real with you, brother.
Yeah.
When did you feel like a need to tell your wife that, or how did you justify your super sexual promiscuous past to her and have her trust you? How did you get her trust after you did that? Because I can't tell girls I do that.
Well, the thing about it is, like, I just looked at it like this. I'm gonna tell you who I am, so you can understand me better, and realize that I might have slept with 1,000, but I chose you. So when a woman can use that intellect and take that emotion out of it, and realize he had access to that many women, but he picked me, they don't even got to worry about things like that. But a lot of times it's just like, it's honestly, I don't even think women really trip on numbers like that, like men do, but it's usually somebody in their ear that makes them feel like they have to defend themselves. When it's like, most women, as long as you're not bringing no drama home, no STDs, you're not taking away from the household. They're not thinking about none of that stuff.
Let me ask you.
So I've always been straightforward.
What if she said this? What if she told you she slept with 300? Would she be your wife?
It wouldn't be no us. Nope. Nope.
I know you got something to say, George. Go ahead, Sister George.
No, I was just gonna say, biologically, we're built different.
Bingo. Oh my God.
That's like a woman that's had 300 bodies. You have to think about how much. That's a lot of dick. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of souls. That's a lot of souls inside. And a lot of people want to look at sex as just a physical thing, but you take into consideration a woman having sex with 300 men, and none of those men actually chose her. None of those men actually really wanted her, actually really wanted to take care of her. And when you take on that much, that's a lot of mental, emotional issues, a lot of rejection. And I think when you're having that kind of sex, that leads to a lot of issues with most women, because you do have some women who say that they can do it and it's nothing, and they can still pair bond and this, that, and the third. I think that it actually does messes with your ability to really form other bonds, because you do. And I've had interviews with like women that's done sex work.
Wow.
They tend to look at men different after they've seen so much. And when you've seen like the absolute dark side of a man or men in general, you don't tend to deal with them the same way. It's hard to for a woman to open up when she's had that many. Yeah, that's a lot.
So let me before you. This is one last question, and this is probably the realest question I ask. and help me because y'all women can help me with this. So if a man sleep with 400, 1,000 women, right? But he sleeps with you, don't you get those soul ties as well, or it doesn't work like that?
It depends on the
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Because everybody trying to say, oh, because she didn't sleep with 1,000 men, but I slept with 1,000 women.
Right.
It depends because you have a lot of men. If a lot of men have seen a dark side of women, then that also gives men a certain perception of women as well. When you've able to go and sleep with a woman and you know she got a man and you know she's sitting there sucking your dick and telling her man that she love him, but you able to see a certain aspect of her, or you're and then let's say that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think that does affect the psyche at some point because it does. You're not gonna trust women as easily. If you see the girl, like you going to the club and your girl go and hug a dude, she may have known that dude since she was in high school. But if he give you a look, well, yeah, he done slept with her. Certain things do things to our psyche as people,
Hmm.
and I won't necessarily say that men carry the same soul ties now. It gets to be tricky to me because I think men are built to sleep with multiple women. Now I'm not, but I feel like men are built to sleep with multiple women. We generally want the man that's had a lot of sexual experience. Most women want to be sexually satisfied.
Right.
You don't learn how to sexually satisfy generally unless you've had experience.
What's the standard?
Well,
What's the standard, Wana? What's the standard? Like, what's the number that's a little bit like you accept for men and women? Because I keep on saying it, that's a lot. But what is for women and men? Wana, give us a standard right now so we can be like, we are nasty freaks or we saints. Which one is it?
okay, here's the thing. This is what I do want to say. That it's important for women to not compare themselves to men as far as like, oh, well, men sleep with 300 women. I can sleep with 300 men. No, like it's important for us to
Facts.
set a standard for ourselves and to be like, okay, yeah, that's how y'all move, but that's not, women don't move like that. And we can also kind of be elitist in that way. Like, yeah, y'all kind of don't have no, I guess y'all don't really care who y'all lay with. We care. We absolutely care. We have a connection. And I'm not saying all women, because there's some women who don't have emotional ties and let me, hold up my gin on the block sign. Not all women, but there is women who we have to have an emotional tie, or we want to have some sort of connection to men, and we have a different standard and how we want to operate and how we want to relate to men. But sleeping with a lot of women is still disgusting, like to a certain extent. I mean,
Yeah,
I do think
it
that
is.
we want our man to be sexually experienced. I agree with you, Sister Jordan, on that. But do I want my man to have slept with every woman that I know, and like even the hood rats and every stripper in the club I know he laid with? Like, that's kind of a turnoff.
You know
So
what?
I do think it's a cap. I
You know what?
like a
Oh,
man
I'm
with
sorry.
a little bit. I'm sorry. I just like a man that have a little bit of reserve. Like he got a little bit of reservation. He's gonna make a good decision. Yeah, he might be a ladies' man, but he ain't gonna let everybody hit. Like I like men who got a little standard and they sleeping with certain women, right? Like not like I got every woman in this caliber on my roster. I do like men who make decisions and who it seems like they in control
Let
and not
me
letting their penis control them.
let me just say this
Yeah.
because I think to a certain degree I'm gonna actually call cap on it. Just a little bit. I'm gonna call cap on it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me why.
And I'm going to call cap on it because most women want to be able to tame the beast. If you done slept with all those women, and I know that all these bitches out here want you, and I got you running around here making omelets and shit, you buying me Gucci, Chanel, whatever you do, I'm the one who got you doing it. I'm the one who got you to settle down and get somewhere and sit your ass down. I was the one who was able to accomplish that. And I know these bitches still out here wanting you. I know they still throwing ass at you. I know I did that. You sitting you over here with me. I think that a
Listen to
lot
her.
of women get off on being able to tame the beast.
Are you kidding me? You serious? You
Girl,
think that?
listen.
I don't think
She,
that.
she's
And
absolutely
I
right.
on the block is here. Jen, hi.
Hey,
What's up,
Jen.
Jen?
Hey,
Hey,
What's
Jen.
going on?
I'm so
y'all
happy to welcome you, girl. Come on.
thank you. Y'all done made me cam up again. I got so much to say about what I'm hearing. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? To Sister George, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
that's her. Mhm.
I'm getting used to everybody's names. So Sister George, yeah, I'm gonna have to call cap on that because women don't tame the beast. Men decide when they're not gonna mess around anymore. Men decide when it's like, you know what, I didn't had 300 or so vaginas. I want to settle down now. I don't want to mess around anymore because I need one to wash my drawers and wipe my butt, okay, and make my dinner. So I'm going to decide to settle down. I don't believe in the like women tame the beast and it's like, oh, let me be the one to tame the beast after he done ran through 500 vaginas. That's not a turn on to me. So we really need my not all some sign because if and I commend what is his name, shirtless guy here, what's his name?
You can just call me Playboy.
Okay, Playboy, for instance, like I commend his honesty. I appreciate men who are honest first and foremost. Let me say that. But if this man was sitting across the table from me and he said he slept with 300 women, I would try to not, spill my dinner. All right, and throw up.
You,
I
well,
call
I
Cap.
don't know. I'm
I
gonna
call
call
Cap.
cap on that too because if Playboy was sitting over there and Playboy was what you wanted as far as looks were concerned, and you were attracted to his personality, you're not going to be interested in how many women that he's bet. Well, I'm not gonna say. I'm just saying generally
That's not
when
going to be a
people are
topic at the dinner
yeah, when
table.
people are attracted to somebody, you're not thinking about how many women he slept with since he was 16 years old. You're looking to fulfill your own needs and get your own satisfaction out of that situation.
Right.
And I'm not saying that all women are actually looking to tame the beast, but you do have some women that actually get off on that. I know quite a few women who will be like, "Oh, he has this woman chasing him. He has that woman looking at him." And he's interested in me, and he. Some women feed off ego, and they get an ego off of that.
Okay, so let me finish my point. I would not. Okay, I could be sitting across from Jason Momoa. Let's go all the way to the top. Let's go Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Let's go Jason Momoa. Let's not go. Let's go past Playboy with no shirt on YouTube. Okay, let's go to the top. The creme de
Just
la
say you
creme.
like light skinned men. It's enough.
No, actually, my last man was King's complexion. So no, I'm not, I don't do light skin, dark skin. But I'm just saying, for the sake of hypotheticals, let's go all the way to the top. I could be sitting across the best of the best. I'm all turned on. As soon as he says that, I am turned off because men that do not value their penis and will throw it in 300 plus women are a turn off. In no way, shape, or form am I looking forward to being 301. It is disgusting. So I don't know what kind of women these are that you're talking about, but it disgusts me. Now, again, that's why I have a sign on my little show that says some, not all.
That's
But
right.
I'm definitely not the type of woman that's turned on in any way, shape, or form from a man that was so careless with his penis. I don't even like dating smokers because I'm like, if you don't care about your lungs, how can you care about mine? If you don't care about your reproductive organs, how could you care about my vagina?
Mm.
It would be a complete turnoff. And the second thing I want to say before Playboy jumps in, because I just want to make my point. I've been listening to y'all speak for a while. We're forgetting that women in this country are very much conditioned to feel shame if they want sex, to feel shame if they have more than 10 partners, to feel shame if they don't want to be the innocent woman that the Playboy finally settled for after 300 women. Like, women are shamed. We're raised that in this country. But if you go to a tribe where nobody speaks English, off on some island, those women are throwing their vaginas around, the men are throwing their penises around, people are multiplying, and they're keeping the tribe going, right? They're just populating wherever they are. But in this country, it's like sex worker, for instance. She's going to feel the ways because sex workers are what? They're berated, they look down on, they're called trash. But that same woman in a tribe somewhere, some hidden tribe, is hitting all the men because their goal is to populate. right? The island, or to populate, or be mothers of many children and fathers of many children. That happens here. So the thing that we're talking about, no, well, women can't compare themselves to men and women can't have 300 partners, is BS, because it's in this country and we're conditioned to think that way from birth. Women are told, close your legs, okay? Be subservient, be quiet, be doting, sit up straight. A man's not gonna like that. A man's not gonna like this. A
Right.
man's not gonna like that.
That's
That's
right.
how women are raised here. But if there was no religion in this country, if there was no patriarchy in this country, if there was no misogyny in this country, a woman would be sitting next to Playboy saying, I had 300 partners too. And we would just keep scrolling and not think anything of it. But because we are born and raised here, he gets to say that and not be shamed when it's actually disgusting. But if a woman were to say that, you'd look at her with disgust. But it is disgusting that a man spent years throwing his penis in 300
Right.
foreign vaginas that some of them don't wash their ass right, vaginas that probably just had came back from a yeast infection, vaginas that just probably came back from abortions, vaginas that probably just got off their cycle and don't know how to clean inside the clitoris and in the lips. This man threw his penis in 300 foreign vaginas, and you really think that I'd be sitting across the table from him and be like, but damn, the way
I
he
can't wait to
laughs
talk.
is so nice. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
You know
No.
what, Jen? I want to say this. I want to say this. Let me read this comment. I think if both men and women get married as a virgin and they can explore each other's sexuality and build in the bedroom for their whole life, you don't have to jump into marriage knowing everything. I wanted to read that because she wanted me to shout her out, and so I wanted to make sure that was clear. However, Jen, I do want to say this: that when I made the comment that we shouldn't compare ourselves to men, I wanted to say this in the respect of, we sometimes, when men say like, oh, we like to sleep with a lot of women, we want to sleep with a lot of women, men too. I don't want us to go into that back and forth. I do want us to stand on our own and express that we are sexual beings as well, and we like sex, because I think we had this conversation on Mr. CYP actually, and Mr. CYP was like, women do not like sex as much as y'all saying. And so I'm kind of happy, Jen, that you on the show and you kind of saying like, we like sex too. We sexual beings. We want to be pleased and we want all these things that men want. We may not sleep with the number of women that some men, the number of men, or we might not have that many sexual experiences. But that doesn't mean that we don't like sex and we don't enjoy it and that we want to, find a partner that kind of like, is bonded with us and who thinks with us, right? Like, so I think that I'm not saying that we can't have 300 partners and still be a good person. What I'm saying is that, why do we always have to go tit for tat? Like, okay, if a man like to do that, we don't have to always jump on the bandwagon and be like, well, we want to do that too. I just think we should just stand on our own in our own sexuality, because that's why men don't respect it, because they always feel like we going back and forth with them. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm trying to come with from that perspective, at least?
You mean me, Juana?
Yeah. I'm talking to you then.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone in the comments said her description was too much and she's laughing, but the truth is that men always say we're biologically built different and women are internal and you're going into them. But look at the women you're going into. Okay, I've been around women that don't know how to wash their ass. I've been around women who have longest, and this is what you're sticking your penis into. Okay, women with all kinds of issues. So yeah, someone said, oh, you don't think The Rock has had 300 women? I mentioned The Rock and people like Jason Momoa because those are the heartthrobs of America, right? And even if I stood across him, it would still disgust me. I don't care what you look like or what your personality is like. It would still disgust me. I would see you a certain type of way, and I would not feel honored. Like, if anything, if I'm innocent, let's say, because he mentioned innocence, he was like, I ran through the bad girls and I got me the innocent one. You think that I'm gonna wait my whole life as innocence and then couple with a man that's been through 300 vaginas?
Would
What? That's
Jen, do you look at women the same way if they've had 300 partners?
say again, say
I
again.
can't wait.
Do you look at women the same way if they said they had 300 partners?
In this country, yes, I would, but it's because I was raised here. Right, so if we're gonna look at, my thing is, if we're going by the standards of America and we've learned what we've learned here traditionally and via religion, because most of this crap is be of religion, right? Be a virtuous woman, be a virgin. Men like virgins, right? But
Yeah.
we're hearing it on the panel, which is interesting. I mean, he said through his own mouth, I ran through all them bad girls, but I wouldn't marry one. You think I'd wait my whole life as an innocent woman and then end up with him? That's like doing something good your whole life and ending up with a booby prize. No, if I'm an
Mm,
innocent woman, I'm gonna want an innocent man because then
mm.
yo, I don't want a man who had his penis used up 300 times over. Get out.
Can I speak? It's been like
Yes, you can speak. I want to say Hanifa's comment because she said it is just it's a male dominated society and the men call the shots. So that's why it's looked at differently. So it's not because we want
Happy
to.
birthday. Happy birthday. It's 12
yeah,
o'clock.
happy birthday.
Happy
In New York. In New York. In
Happy
New York. It's 4 o'clock in New
birthday.
York. In New York. It's 4 o'clock in New York. Happy birthday, New York. Happy birthday.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm just so grateful that I made it to 38, that I'm in the position I'm in, that like I'm connected to the people I'm connected to. Mr. CYP, he's on here supporting me. Like Carlos, I love you. I love you because you really he really believed in me when I was at my lowest point, leaving podcasts and just being criticized and ridiculed and not even really sure if I really wanted to go back in that realm, and then King, like same thing. King, he like make me feel like my head be like this big when I'm done with King's show. Because King be like, she the mother, man. She started this. Like he always built me up. And so I'm so happy to celebrate with y'all today. I'm so happy that like people who love me, all this positive energy is around me. So thank y'all. Thank y'all. But you know what? Lover boy, I'm gonna let you respond because I know Jim was blowing you up. And so you wanna, you wanna have your
I
rebuttal.
mean,
So go ahead.
I'm not offended by anything.
Wait, 1 minute. 1 minute.
One thing, you are a real man. Because a lot of times, Jen has a fiery thing, but you kept it cool and calm, and I respect you for that. And this is how men should act. No matter what a woman says or does, you respect her, you keep quiet, let her finish. And that's why he could do what he wants with women, because he knows how to treat women. He knows how to be a man. And I think that's what Jen was talking about before. Like the men she deal with, they know how to be calm and patient. That's a real man. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I
Appreciate
give
that,
him,
man.
like I said, I give him credit for being honest. I think that's very important. Every time
That's
I
a
meet
real
him,
man. He's a real man.
absolutely, this is what it is. I commend you because men usually lie about this, and I'm laying it on thick because imagine, and I want Playboy to answer right after this because I don't want to keep. Blah, blah, blah. But imagine if everything I just said, the description, the way I said it. Imagine if little boys were raised with everything I just said. Because that's how women are raised. That's how little girls are raised. You don't want all them penises in you, and that's dirty. Now imagine if everything I just described at Playboy, and I'm speaking generally, if we raised our little boys like that, they would have dick discipline, no question. Because they wouldn't be loose. Well, I'm raised to think that I can throw my penis in anything, so it doesn't matter. But if they were raised with everything I just said, men would move differently. But they're not raised that way. So they get to sit on panels in a room full of women and say with the most vibrato and bravado and ego, yeah, I did 300. I did 300 women. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not attacking him, but men in general will do
Right.
that because of society, right? Where
Right.
women don't sit up there, well, I slept with 300. We don't do that because we're raised differently. But imagine raising a little boy to care for his body, to honor his body. They wouldn't be sitting nowhere without a shirt talking about I had 300 plus. Right? So I'm speaking generally. I'm not attacking him. I'm attacking the mindset. But go
No,
ahead.
I agree. And you know what? This show is called Gems and Jewels for a reason. Listen to what they're dropping. They are dropping gems. If you didn't hear Sister George earlier, that's okay, because I'm going to chop up this video and I'm going to let y'all hear what she had to say. But they are dropping so many jewels. And this whole idea of men can be hoes and women can't be is so outdated. Like it is really like archaic. And I feel like men need to understand that there are men who are accepting that women have a sexual past and not judging them for it. And honestly are embracing it and understanding that one, I desire a woman who has sexual experience, and therefore I need to be real with myself and understand that that's the woman that I really want, and not judge a woman because she has that history. So in no way am I saying judge a woman, and but what I'm saying to women is that we don't have to compare ourselves to men to be validated. We can definitely stand on our own sexuality and explain why we desire sex, why we want sex, and why it's not shameful to be a woman and want that. So I think that that's where I kind of get, because I feel like women do it in retaliation sometimes, and not, necessarily the way Jen is standing on it. Like, no, if it's not okay, if it's not acceptable for you to do it, it's not acceptable for us in general. Like, it's just not acceptable.
Yeah, because I don't think the answer to him is, oh, ladies, go out and sleep with 300 men. That's not the answer.
Right. I love you too, Mr. CYP. Okay, y'all better like this video. Like, and subscribe to my channel, okay? Because I'm going to be dropping jewels and gems all week. Like, I'm going to be dropping gems and jewels. Tomorrow's my actual birthday. Well, I guess today is my actual birthday. And I'm going to be live tomorrow as well with Mr. Shirtless. No, I'm going to call you Evolutionary Lover Boy. I like Jen's nickname for you, though. The Shirtless.
It's good. Conversation starter.
Are you a Q?
A what?
A Q.
Omega Psi fraternity.
No frats.
They do that. I'm a Kappa, but they do that. You know what I mean? All right. Yeah, he look like a Q though.
The Qs. That's what. Let me tell you about my first experience with them. I was a freshman. I'm in the party. I'm just watching them stroll because I had no idea what they did. At this point, I'm like a naive freshman. I'm like all fascinated, like, oh, look at this. This one Q sticks his hand out and like goes down my entire body. I'm a freshman. Remember, I don't know what's going on. I was like, should I call what's going on? Should I call the police? What's happening here? He just touched me. Like, they are crazy. I was like, I learned my lesson. I'm like, never get that close to those gentlemen again. So just I had to share that story because that still traumatized me to this day.
That's funny. They say that Qs are like 40 ounces and Kappas are like fine wine, and Kappas are, and Alphas are like.
Everybody want to hear you, Lover Boy. What you got to say?
I'm waiting to talk.
Go ahead. I want to hear you.
All I wanted to hear. I'm trying to go to bed. I was like, what he got to say about this too?
So, like I said, like I tried to say, I wasn't offended by anything because, doesn't know me. She's speaking on her perspective. But the thing is this. Men are valued for different reasons than women are valued. Men, for the most part, when we're young, we're all taught, go get as many as you can. So when I was young, goddamn right, I was out there knocking them down because that's just what most young guys do. Now, when it comes to a lot of insults and shaming, but it's cool. But I've always been an OCD type of guy, a put in work type of guy. So yeah, my numbers are pretty high, but I was also very, very selective who I smashed. That's why, like we said earlier, the numbers could have been much higher, double, maybe even more. But I'm very selective on who I smash because, see, I grew up in the Bay Area, and anybody that knows about the Bay Area, it's all game out here.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to earn it. And out here, smashing whack chicks don't count. So the guys I was with, we got all the good ones. So when I say bad girls, that's just, women that was out having fun like I was having fun. Doesn't mean they're a bad woman. It's just, they weren't taking relationships serious, and neither was I. And that's just who I was at the time. But like Tawana can tell you, I stayed on the show several times. That was my past life.
Yeah.
I don't glorify it, but if you're gonna be a real person, you're gonna be real about the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what people have to say because I'm real. And it's a lot of people that say stuff not in my face that I guarantee in my face it'll be a different story. It's a lot of women that would say what they wouldn't do.
Are you
Huh?
suggesting that Jen would be all in your face if it was in person?
I won't. I
I'm
mean,
asking.
I can't even. I don't even know what she looks like or nothing. She didn't come up. But I'm
But
saying this,
people,
like that wouldn't even be a
Oh,
that wouldn't
she's
even be a
fine.
topic
Oh,
of conversation.
she's fine.
That's
She's
cool. That's
fine.
cool.
She's fine, fine.
That's cool. But I'm saying that that type of stuff wouldn't even be a conversation. That'd be something that she will find out afterwards. Think about it. When you meet somebody and say there's a mutual attraction, you're not worried about nothing but enjoying that moment. So if things went to the bedroom, you're not going to be even asking those questions until your emotions get involved. And at that point, it already happened. So you're not going to sit there and have emotional involvement with somebody and actually like them and be like, oh, you had 300. I'm not interested. The deed was done already. You know what I mean? So
mm,
it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just like one thing that I hope she understands about me is that I'm OCD in every aspect of my life. Everything has to be in order, from credit to my body to my health, everything. So I would never be a goofy dude and not know how to have a conversation with a woman that I have interest in. Now I'm straightforward, but I'm big on not giving information unless it's asked of me. So I just don't see any woman asking how many women have you been with on the date? You know what I mean? So that's my
I
past.
want to
This is
say
my,
this. I
go
want to
ahead.
say this because Sister George, she's gonna leave me soon, and I want everybody to go follow her on YouTube because she's
love, love.
powerful and she really, really talks the truth. And I really want y'all to support her. I want y'all to go in and talk to her, challenge her as well because she does have some challenging views, and I love her for that. But you definitely will be back, Sister George. I will be calling you. I will be messaging you. Don't worry about it.
I,
Uh,
I really really enjoyed myself. I just happened to be scrolling through and y'all showed up in my algorithm. I'm so happy that I clicked on because this is a really good conversation. Shout out to you, King, and
Thank
want a happy birthday. I
thank
really appreciate
you.
y'all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And
you.
we
Thank
will see
y'all.
you.
All right, y'all take
Yeah,
care.
Take
thank
care.
All
you.
right.
Wanda, we have these two new guys that are coming through the YouTube streets, and they were one of them was ushered in through Jen's show, and
Okay.
he's been a regular on my show, Mr. O. Can they come up, please? These are individuals that's gonna make you have you laughing, but they're really who they say they are for the most part. For what I know about them,
Okay.
and they have perspectives in regards to this, and they're going to tell you what it is. And so they seem playerish. They are playerish, but it's a different type of intellect that comes with it.
Well, welcome. So I just added them, King, before
Thank
you
you.
even said something. I was like, oh, they want to join the conversation. Let's
Yeah.
go. So welcome, welcome, Mr. O. And I don't see the other person's name. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Heck,
F. Okay. Okay, so y'all named after some real okay, Mr. O and Hef. All right. All right. So
thank you
y'all
for
really gonna
having me.
add to the conversation. I would love to hear it. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for being a part too. So go ahead. You all.
Let's start by saying happy birthday. It's your birthday, so we want to come
It,
through and
it's my birthday. How old y'all think I am? Come on, tell me my real age. What you think?
I heard you earlier, so I already got it.
Oh man. But before I said that, what did you think?
21 for sure.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's the what? It's the 18th birthday of my 21st. What is
Okay, I see you, young buck, young
it?
spring chicken.
Spring chicken. All
So I
right,
wasn't
go
gonna
ahead.
have because it was getting a little spicy over here, and Jen came and like, disgusting. I mean, I know, like for me as a man, like my mystique is very important as far as my demeanor. So I would never like reveal my number publicly, because the way it comes off, and then they're gonna get me further in that conversation with that woman. Jen shut down, and I may have wanted that, so I got to be mindful of that. But that being said, when the woman brought up, let's call them the ladies of the evening and how they view promiscuity,
Okay.
there's some truth to that as well. And I didn't want to take all the bullets. We're gonna give y'all a double dose, but I'm gonna let Health rock with some of those questions because how the conversations we were having the other night based on lifestyle. Where'd you go?
I lost
Hef
myself.
went. Oh, there he is.
We're going now.
So, okay. So tell me this, Mr. O. Is 300 a realistic number? You don't have to reveal your number, but is that
The realistic number for both genders.
oh okay at a certain age? Is it at a certain age, or are you saying that
Well,
300 a man
like,
shouldn't judge a woman who slept with 300 men, and we shouldn't judge a man who slept with 300 women?
yeah, I don't even care about that. To be honest, I
Right.
don't care how many people she been with. I really don't.
I
It
don't.
ain't no issue for me. I really don't care. And I think that if we leave it off the table, we gonna get what we want. But women want to judge it from like I guess optics or just their status in that man's life. I know women are more like and they to want to be the one that like somebody mentioned like conquering a man. You can't conquer no man, but at the same time, it is some status that goes with being with the man that is the man, you know. And I think they appreciate that. Um, in my life, women do a lot of things to get my attention, and the ones that don't get it. So when we was talking about that other thing, it definitely makes you more innate and more available to a lot of women when you're a valuable man.
Hmm.
Right.
So,
So I
Tef,
stand on this.
so what's your position on that? Do you think that the number matters? Do you think that that's important
I mean,
for a
yeah,
woman?
it's obviously childish. Our dating arena in this day and age is built around possessions. We want someone to be our something. We don't want anyone to be able to take any claim or say they're familiar with my significant other. It makes you feel some type of way. And once you take societal norms out the picture, anybody who's still looking at bodies and all of these idiotic colloquialisms, you just being too childish, and you probably go find yourself very single and very miserable for a very long time. Even if you
Mm.
do find somebody to be with, you're steady focused on the wrong things. You're never putting your energy and your attention in the right places. Um, I made a video about people, men and women, not giving their significant other a reason to be who they want them to be in a relationship. They spend so much time nagging and bringing you down and making you feel some type of way that you don't even have the drive and motivation to get cleaned up and get dressed up and hit that gym and be that bad bitch for him. And he don't have the energy to get up off the couch and get rid of that belly fat for
That
you. And
part.
it's like we put so much stress and strain on things that don't matter. So bodies is going to be another one of those things. If you are a cautious person, you've been taking care of yourself, you handling your business as an adult, the numbers shouldn't matter. What should matter is the way a person makes you feel, the agreements that y'all have, and y'all ability to live up to those agreements.
Right.
Gone.
Can I respond to
So
that real quick?
Listen. Go ahead, Jen.
I just want to say this real quick. It's such an interesting point. That's why I love these men on panels. Okay,
Yes,
such an interesting point because here's the thing: what is the number, right? Men say, I don't want my woman to have been ran through. But here's this: even if your woman had one man prior to you, he was skeeting in the mouth, skeeting in the eyes, pulling the hair, putting in her behind, putting all up in her vagina, going left stroke, right stroke, soft stroke, all
just
up
one.
in that, all up in that. The penis head was all on her lips, and you kissing her now. So I really want to know what's the number? What's the number? You don't want her ran through, but even one man prior to you did all that.
And
What?
let me tell you this, Jen. A woman who slept with more men might not have even engaged in that. May have only have had sexual intercourse. But sometimes when you're tied down to
Mhm.
one man,
Yeah.
you may give them a little bit more because it's like, well,
Oh
this is
yeah.
the man who I envision to be within
Yeah.
my future. So
Yeah.
you might have tried things that a woman who's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just, like I'm casual with it. I'm not sure what I want to do. Haven't even tried.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Haven't
like,
even tried. And
right.
don't want to try.
I hear that. I don't want her ran through. Well, that one, even if she was with one guy prior to you, he done did unimaginable things to that woman. You think she gonna tell you? She
Right.
ain't gonna tell you.
Like you gotta
Yeah,
understand, like women
I'm
are
sorry.
able to like have sex and they can
Tristan.
compartmentalize the situation that they're in. Like if a woman had been with 300 men, I know that the only ones that matter are the one that was up here. The men that were up here, not the men that were down there.
Woo!
That's the men I'm
Mm.
worried. I'm worried about the men that was up here. I'm not worried about the ones that's down there. And to be honest, man, like we in a whole nother part of the like it's level. I don't want to say, but I'm in the back when I'm in there, so I don't know what y'all doing, but y'all playing with it. Like it's not the same. The location even in there. I'm
Yep.
in a different location in her mind and down there. Like it's not the same. So
Right,
I don't worry about that.
right.
But I care about the men that have been up here more than I care about. Like if Chad been with, but shirtless, I be like, I got him. But Chad, I know he got something up here. So, but you say you from the base, so I know you up here too with it. So
That's
that's
the
what
only
I'm
way it
worried about.
started. That's what I'm, and that's
Right.
the thing. Like, what I want to
Let's say
make
less, say
clear,
less, say
what I want to
less.
make clear is the shit that we talking about. This is my past life.
Right.
This is when I'm 39. I've
Right,
been with my chick 11 years.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I bring up all this shit, I'm speaking for cats that's still in that shit.
Right.
Like the player never leave, the mouthpiece never leave. That's what got me because I used to be a short, skinny motherfucker. So I had nothing but mouthpiece at one point. That's what gave me the true confidence to do what I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like that's why I'm like I'm not offended by the things that Jen said because that's my past
That's
life.
your past life. It don't
But
it's not a reflection of who you are today.
yeah, yeah. But
Mhm.
the thing about it is like still for me in choosing my chick, I'm like I'm not about to be walking around here
Okay.
with niggas saying that they smash my broad. Nah, I'm not doing that. And that's just
You
how
said
I
that
look at
another.
shit.
Oh,
Hmm.
it's not
Well,
even
let
the
me ask
Oh,
physical.
why? Okay, go ahead, Jen. Because I'm like, you slept with 300 women. You probably flat smashed half of they chicks, they
No,
female
okay, so
friends.
it sounds to me like
Nah,
it's even
nah.
physical. With me, it's physical. With me, it's the actual penetration, right? But
Mm.
he's talking like it. He's talking from an ego point of view. Like he just don't want a man saying. So I guess I don't know. I guess he'll never run into the man who hit before the girl he was with for 11 years, because somewhere on this planet, someone can say that. Like
No,
someone can
that's
say that.
I know the people. That's not the thing. I'm just saying I was comfortable with the number of bodies she had. It was not a fact of walking around and saying nobody did, but I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where it's like I just keep running into motherfuckers everywhere.
Right,
Well,
right.
here's the thing though. What people are saying is if you don't have a standard for yourself as far as the type of women that you would like to sleep with, and you felt like it was acceptable to sleep with 300, how can you hold a woman?
Because men value women for different reasons than women value men.
Mhm.
Men men have to make value, while women have to just preserve value.
Oof. Talk about it.
Simple as that.
Talk about
We have to create value to women. Women are born with that shit and just have to maintain it. So I
talk
want
about
the
it.
woman with the most value for me. To me,
So
Well,
here's my thing. It's not about the numbers, man. I don't care how many women, I mean, how many men a woman sleeps with. My biggest concern is that you don't have anything substantial with anybody in my inner circle. That I can't deal with. You feel me? Some men could deal with it. Somebody's like, yo, my best friend's ex is my wife. I can't do that. But if you have 1,500 men you smash, I don't know that. I don't do
As
it.
long as they're not 1,500 men, you know.
But as long as they're not in my circle, as long as they're not in my
They're not in
circle,
your circle.
in my network, my
Okay, so
network.
like, I want to hear Hef's perspective on that. So how do you feel about women who have slept with someone that you may know or you may be associated with? What is your perception on that? Because I know you said the number don't matter, but does that matter?
not at all. You're obviously gonna like the people in my circle because we move in a certain way. So it's like you have a type, you like a certain type of guy. And to be honest, all of my best male friends came from women that we knew mutually. The men that I happen to meet on my own, I tend to fall out with. But like the women that I like, they like guys like me, and I meet their ex or their current, and that's my dog. You know, one of my oldest friends is we matter of fact, all my closest homies is we met through a female.
Are you still with that female though?
Huh?
Are you still with that female?
Right. That's a good question.
Well, so those situations always fell by the wayside, but you know, that's me you know,
That's
being a
common. Men
rolling
do that.
stone. That's me being a rolling stone. It wasn't necessarily anything wrong with them, but that time came and went. You know, we either grew out of each other, we were headed in different directions, or something like that.
No, I get
But
what you're
when
saying. I get what you're saying because everybody knows if you outside, you know that women could bring real players together because they bring real players together. A woman could bring get money dudes together. But my thing is, are you still going to be with that woman? That's my
I
question.
mean, I definitely could have a few of them that come to mind right now. Like I said, it was just bad timing, you know, more than anything else. And a point that Jim brought up about which number is too many, because one guy could say one is too many. I think that boils down to a matter of how you've been handling yourself and carrying yourself, your respect level out here in these streets. Because I know women who do their thing, but men know how to handle them and deal with them. They're not coming at them just saying any old reckless thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because they're worried about a physical threat, but they got love for this chick. They got respect and admiration for her. So how whatever she had with them, they're not looking to embarrass her. And I think just listening to this conversation has got me feeling like that's even more equal on the male side of things. You want your man to have been handling himself so well out here that when women's not coming, they like, oh, that's his new chick. Let me roll up on her and da da da. Like they know how buddy moving, so they go respect you because they respect him. So
That's a
Right.
fact. That's a
I
fact.
didn't
That's
even
a fact.
consider that on both
That's true.
sides.
That's
Speak.
no, that's a fact. I started
Listen.
a fight in a strip club because of that. Because the girl I was with, no, the girl I was with, right, bust the
Huh?
other stripper in the head a month ago with a bottle. This is years ago. And
Yeah.
so I come in and I've been doing what I do. They hate each other. But I said tonight we're gonna have fun, and they respected me, so they behaved. So he's actually telling the truth. Like when you gotta have when you have respect, people don't play those games anymore.
Yep.
But I want to say one thing, ladies, be careful. You have a Bay Area player and Texas players on a panel. This is crazy. Y'all like this is so much gems right now.
Listen,
I don't realize how much
if
game is
y'all
really
don't know what the name of my show is, it's called Gems
played
and
in
Jewels.
Arkansas.
You got
Mr. O,
you got Houston and
y'all
Baker.
dropping some gems
I
that
learned so much
I'm
right
like,
now. You
eating them
really
up.
have no idea like how much we all know. I know niggas from the Bay.
Yeah.
You can't come outside and not follow no game.
You know what's funny though? Playboy said
Mr.
that
O,
Playboy,
go
and
ahead.
I agreed with him at first, but now I changed my mind because he said, you know, he wouldn't want, he just doesn't, you know, he just doesn't want to run into anybody, right? Which is, you know, fair to say. But I'm like, in comparison to your lady now, she's the one that may run into one of yours at the Starbucks, at the
Nah, cause see, I did most of my shit when I was in LA and then traveling, doing the modeling and shit, being an athlete. I was knocking shit out in different countries, you know what I mean, different states. And I wouldn't even like for me, I never grew up wanting a girlfriend. So for me to have a woman, that was a conscious decision. And I'm not going to wipe somebody up that I don't respect. You know what I mean? And the thing that allowed me to even find her was I started slowing down because I started questioning, like, what's the point smashing all these chicks? I ain't out here getting no money, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't no pimp, you know, that just wasn't my thing. I was a player. So I'm just like, it's just the fun. But
Right.
once I started questioning the shit I was doing, that's when shit started changing for me. That's when I was able to find her. You know what I mean?
But I
But
like that. I like that idea that I mean, I understand that you have a preference. Even if you was out here in these streets, like for instance, if a stripper was like, look, turning tricks, maybe she had 300 plus men, but now she's like, but I want a man that's like this. is it okay? Is it acceptable? So I want you to hear on the flip side. So she slept with however many men, but now she want a man that's kind of like ready to settle down. Maybe maybe he's a family man. He haven't had that many partners. Is it okay for her to have that expectation? I guess that's the that's where we're lost as far as how we feel about your position, I
I
guess.
think, I mean, if you rewind a tape, I never talk about what a woman can't do. I never say that. But I'm just saying it's certain types of men that might be off limits
Mm-hmm.
because of her history.
Okay.
Now it's people that's open to everything, but I feel like a car with high mileage. I mean, who really wants to buy a car with high mileage? Some do,
Well,
but a lot of times
Offset
those
and
women don't end up with the men they want.
Offset and some other people they want to. I don't know. Mr. O, give me your explanation. So how do you feel about this topic? So if a woman kind of have slept with a person that you are associated with or do you feel like that's someone that's she undateable? If that's some woman that you really was interested in, but then you found out like she slept with a partner that you know, how do you feel about dating her after that?
You talking about real life? There's somebody that I'm with right now he's been with.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Relax. Relax. Hold on. No, but it's funny because I said something and he smiled. And when I said it, you smiled when I said it. I said, "What's going on here?" And I said, "These dudes, I'm telling you, be careful with these Houston and be careful with these Bay Area players. They really don't have no ego when it comes to women." See, I'm from Brooklyn, so we overprotected. We rob people and all types of stuff. But these people right here, like they don't have no ego. So
yeah,
that's crazy to me, huh? How
I
you do
love
that?
too.
How you do that?
Let me respond to one of the comments.
go
What
ahead,
now
Jen.
23G? What now 23G says more and more women are pushing that their past don't matter. So why are y'all coming at shirtless guy? If he said this was over 11 years ago, what's the big deal? Not going at him at all. I'm going at the ideology. Not going at him at all. I said I have respect for him being a honest man. Just as much as respect as I have for Mr. O and Hef, they're also honest men. They're just men that handle things differently. So we're not going at anybody up here. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't feel
pushing
attacked.
that.
It's all good.
Yeah, and I'm not
Oh,
pushing that. People's past don't matter. We're just talking about our own personal experience and preference. Some people's past don't matter. Some people, like he just said, these women may have had a past like he has, but she may not get the man she's aiming for, and vice versa. That's life. I think that's life.
you gotta understand,
We
like
all
when you
family.
have somebody in your life, you gotta know the value of that person. Like, why are you with that person? You're not with them for the sex. Yeah, that person not in my life because she has a wound that I enjoy. That's just a byproduct of a great thing. But when you conscious on why you're together and you focus on what matter, as long as you don't embarrass nobody and it don't mess up the money, man, it makes sense to me.
Bingo.
I
But
don't care
you
nothing
answer my
about
question though. Nobody answered my question about how did that work?
Okay.
what.
How was the transition from his girl to your girl? And then you ask the question that most men ask, like, is my shit bigger? Like, do you do stuff like that? Like, I want to know.
Wait, men ask that? Wait, King. You said men ask
I know some men that ask questions like that. Who does this?
because they know that you slept with
Two
somebody
gentlemen do.
that
Two,
they
two
know.
Some
gentlemen
people say
always.
that's meant.
They
Yeah.
want to know if they're
Some people ask. Not all men. Some men think it's immature, and
okay.
then some men who are competitive, like yo, And I know some people I know some street dudes that actually go after rappers and athletes' girls. That's like a hobby for them. It's like
Hell yeah.
yeah, if you know
To be honest with you, man, it happens so much. Like I literally see girls that'll leave one of those guys she with at the club and leave with another guy and be with him. She has the freedom to do that, man. Like
yes.
we can't be bound by these titles that we give each other verbally. You're my boyfriend, so you can't feel this energy next to you when it walks by you. You gotta no, life don't work like that. And what two men are gonna do is they're gonna go behind closed doors, maybe the next day or that day, and they're gonna have a drink and they're gonna talk about what's important. And I'm gonna leave it right there. And it ain't gonna be about no emotions about
I love you. I love it. He said,
love
all
it.
that.
I
Yeah,
think
maybe
you
it's
know
not
what.
working out over there with that man no more, but you stuck over there because you made these agreements verbally to one another. Like
Man,
life is too short to be
you are
worried
like,
about.
y'all are so confident, but y'all are realistic because this is the truth. Women
Mhm.
have a history, men have histories, and we all have to accept people for who they are. If we constantly trying to change somebody and make them into who we are, and then you're mad when it changes and the person really isn't who you try to make them be. Like, just
50%
let them be.
of the divorce rate, 50%
That's
of the
right.
divorce rate.
That's right. I think that getting on board and accepting people and accepting what people bring to the table and just observing and like Playboy said, okay, I don't really want a woman with that much experience. He knows that about himself, so he chose a woman that he could partner with, be with for 11 plus years, which is a milestone. Whether you married or not, that's a long time to be with a person. So
Mhm.
if he chose like, okay, this is who I literally realistically can be with, be honest with yourself, but also stop putting expectations on people just because you feel like that is shameful and I shouldn't really deal with you because you doing that. Like, I don't agree with that. So I like Hef and Mr. O, they giving me like, oh, y'all got to come back on my podcast and like talk about this a little bit more. I just can't, like, I have to have y'all back because I can't believe this thought coming from men. Like, it's like eye open. I feel like women gonna be like, what? Mr. O and Hef is saying what?
Wanda, you just have to whenever they're on the panel, just grab your panties on the side real tight, real tight,
That's a
because
fact.
they
You
don't
know what,
move,
Jen?
they don't
When
move.
they come back, Jen, you gonna have to come back because, like, I want y'all to see Jen, because she come on the show. Fat, she ain't showing her, she got her thing going on. She be coming on the show like,
GenBatty.com.
Me and Jen did a show. Me and Jen did a show
No,
together.
And I want to see
I really,
shit.
Jen be like, she step out, baby. Okay, so when they
Y'all
come
go
back
watch our show
there,
on Marilyn
I need
Monroe
you
that
to come back.
we did.
what I really want is have Mr. O and Playboy to have their own show because I would love to see what happens.
That'd be
And,
sick.
and that's
That'd
why
be
I said
sick.
that's why I said she's the mother. Things
That's right.
start with her. Things
Let's do
start
the
with her. You
pre-show
put me
to the
starting here
ladies
first.
night.
And but I
Let's
also
do the
want
pre-show to the ladies night.
I also want Mr. O, Mr. Chad. I'm asking humbly. I'm not going to take no for an answer. I want y'all to do the pre-show for the ladies on
Yeah.
Tuesday because Jen was one of the ones that we got to get them a slot on the
That's right.
conversation with King
Yes.
Network. So she bigged that up. She actually spearheaded that. So I really want y'all that, and I want y'all on Saturdays because y'all the truth. But y'all three, whether y'all do on my page or not, it
I'm
started here
down.
on Tawana's page.
Down, man.
That's right.
Y'all need
Sometimes
to
we
get
do this
together.
on the
Y'all,
same
This
yeah,
crew.
conversation is so important because
right.
I think a lot of times the men are just really just dictating what they want women to do and no man have come on the show and been like, I'm just gonna meet her where she at. I'm gonna deal with what she got going on and I'm gonna accept it because this is who I want to deal with and that's what it is. Like a lot of men don't want to admit that that's what they do. Even though so many of them do that as well, like just accept women for who they are. A lot of them shame women for feeling like they've explored and they have a past and they have a history. You know what I mean?
But Wanda,
So
where we see that a lot too. That shocked me. Like that shocked me. I was like, wow, really? When we hear, quote unquote, the high value man and man who's financially stable, may or may not be attractive, good dresser, whatever, what have you, right? These cats in the industry, they can have any woman pretty much in the world, pretty much. They could, because they're quote unquote high value men, right? And they're usually waiting for that other celebrity across the room to be finished with that one girl. I lost count of how many women Mayweather, okay, has provided for the industry. Mayweather has like 10 to 20 chicks in his stable at any given time. And then
Wait, Jen, you dropped the Jen, you can't say
and then
that, Jen.
a year later, Nelly got one, Ray J got
Jen, you can't say
one.
that.
I'm like, yo, what is? And they don't care. They literally wait for the next finish smashing, and then they want to smash that same girl. And I'm like, I'm sorry, if I was a man worth $50 million, I'm going to Brazil somewhere in the woods and get me a woman nobody ever saw before. But these men want Mayweather's chick, Nelly's chick, Drake's chick.
Yo, Jen is so fearless because it's certain things she can't say when she don't care. She's
I
fearless.
love Jen because let me tell you, when they try to come back at her, she got even more. That ain't even it. She might say something that sting you.
Now she got the whole Brooklyn behind
really
her.
get you when you try to get her back.
She got the whole Brooklyn behind her. She got the whole Bloodhound Brim.
She got
everything behind her. We outside for her.
Since we're giving out little flowers, you know, I don't be doing flowers, but since we're giving out little flowers, I gotta say that, you know, Conversations with King really started this environment. He's like the anti, you know what I mean, red pill, blue pill. He does the true pill. And it created this environment for all of us to come up here with these differences that are really, really on opposite sides of the spectrum. Like, we're really far apart, but we all get to come here and kick it. Like, Playboy, I got to give you credit again. You knew I wasn't attacking you. This is just my manner of speaking. You know,
that's that East Coast shit.
Yeah, that's
what it is, though.
Yeah,
really
straight up.
That's all it is. And I try to explain to people, listen, my opinion doesn't matter to you because that man is happy in a relationship for 11 years, right? So his opinion don't matter to me because I don't want him. You know what I mean? And vice versa. But I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want you.
Come on.
So nah, not even a little bit. So my point is that, you know, we can have these discussions and keep pushing, right?
Yeah.
So I love it.
I love it. I feel like that manosphere, it really did open up the conversation. And one thing that I will say that I agree with regarding the manosphere is that it created a space for men to be vocal and talk about things that were important to them. And it created that safe space for men. And I feel like that was super important. You know, I don't disagree with that. And I do think that that is, you know, part of the reason why we're able to sit on these platforms and talk about these issues, because the manosphere created that space. The problem that I have is, where is it leading us to? Are we going to partner or are we going to divide? Because I feel like it's just a constant battle. Like, no, this is how y'all should be. No, this is how we want to be. And then nobody is listening to each other. And it's just like all this fighting. So I want to ask Mr. O, like, what do you identify with? Do you identify with the manosphere? I guess I already know the answer, but I just want you to answer that, because I feel like, do you know about that red pill, blue pill? Like, what's your perception on that?
I had this conversation like recently about what I thought about the red pill, and it comes off very emotional to me. Like, no, we're not going to take it. Like the whole women's liberation movement. Like, can you imagine when they stripped off their bra? They was like, we're not going to wear these no more, and you're not going to tell us to. Like, that's how the red pill come off. Like, that's how they come off. We're tired of getting battered by women. We're tired.
Is it the new feminist movement? I always ask the men that. You know, is it the new feminist movement? Men had a show about that. Is it?
Put your time out and tell no, I'd rather be by myself than no, you don't. You won't. You won't be by yourself.
Because that's the alternative, right? Like, if you don't want to listen to women and we kind of come to a comfortable compromise, what are you gonna do? Just die alone? And I guess their argument is that, well, we don't complain about it. We okay with dying alone. But
the whole purpose of the red pill, like this whole manosphere thing, it was like media was controlled by women on the original outlets from the TV and things like that. But then YouTube gave an opportunity for men to create their own spaces and say what they want to say. But the whole purpose of having conversations is to come together, not to make a stance. This isn't a debate where we're arguing the affirmative again. You know, like that's not what we're doing. We're trying to come together. Because at the end of the day, we got kids coming behind us that we want to make sure it's okay when we gone.
Right.
When you ask somebody that's about to pass away, They ain't gonna talk what matters. They not gonna talk about money, nothing. They gonna talk about is the people that I'm leaving behind that depend on me, are they gonna be okay?
Right.
That's what the biggest concern is when they about to close their eyes for the last time.
That's
Right.
And so we talking about coming together because we want these girls to be protected when we gone. You stop saying you want her to be independent because when you gone, you want somebody to be there for her.
Right.
You do. So we got to come together. And so what I want to say to men is that like there is an art to communication that you must that you must master. If you want a woman to receive you and be with your plan, you got to communicate it in a way that she receive it. I know women, you just need a plan. You just need a plan, baby. I could be your motivation. What Larry say?
God.
Be
This
a
is,
plan. Don't make them like me no more. Real player.
I want to keep it. I want to keep. I want to also. I want to throw a disclaimer because I'm on probation. So when I said the whole Brooklyn got Jen back, it's a whole bunch of Christians and Muslims that really care about her. And also when I said Bloodhound Brim, when I meant Brims as Black Revolutionary Intelligent Militant Soldiers, that's what I mean. It's a
Okay.
political movement. However you want to take it there. We just have her back in a nice way. So we're going to protest, picket signs. We don't promote violence. That's what I'm telling you. It's all picket signs, political
Right.
movement, and free all my political prisoners. Free Latik Johnson and free Brendan Green. We love you. That's it. Free all my political prisoners. That's it.
Tawana, let me ask you something, and I'm so pissed that Sister George isn't here because I know she claimed she was a part of the manosphere.
Right.
I
Right.
want to ask you, why is it that you think, right, King, Hef, Mr. O, men that I know, why is it you think that they can't relate to, okay, empathize, sympathize, whatever, to the manosphere? Why is it that when I talk to my male friends and I'm like, have you heard of the manosphere? And they're like, no, what is that? And I explain it. They say, what the fuck would I need that for?
Right.
Why do I need to be a part of that? Why do you think that some men are just like, I don't know what that's about. Like, I don't need to be there, which is how me and Chaotic Truth's wife got into that argument because I said that. You know what I mean? I said, no matter what's going on YouTube, you have to understand that there are men outside of this sphere that think some of these dudes are clowns, right?
Yes. Yes.
Men are always
We
gonna
gotta
I,
move
do
and
that.
migrate in
Why
a
do you
way
think
that
that is?
let me tell you what I see. When I see men like Mr. O, Hef, King, I feel like they are so self-aware. They have such emotional intelligence that they couldn't possibly fall for a cliquish community like that. Like you have to be very vulnerable. And I don't want to talk about men in a negative way, but I do think that there's some healing that needs to happen where there may be some issues that they've previously had with women. There is some things that they haven't quite accepted, right? And I'm sure Mr. O, I'm sure Hef, I'm sure King have some ideas that they do agree with that comes from the manosphere and that they can support and be like, yeah, that makes total sense. But I think they can't ever completely identify with a group of men who need validation from a community that is broken. Like I think that you can never, if you're a man who kind of stands on your own, men are rational. You guys make like pretty rational decisions. You don't think with your heart. You think with reason. So when you listen to it, you're like, that's kind of not adding up for me, and that don't make sense. And what I see, the world that I see, this isn't a reflection of the world that I actually see. So why should I subscribe to this? What exactly am I benefiting from that? And I think that most men don't look at it from a rational standpoint. They have some emotional damage that they're not addressing.
so you
Um,
gotta
and
understand like
that's what it is. Yeah.
most men like we just move if you move at a certain level, you only see what's on your level. Like you're not really even checking for that. Only reason I know about it is because I was endeavoring to do a YouTube, and so I wanted to get acclimated with what was out there just so I can be prepared and know how to move. But it wasn't that I was going to adopt any of that. Like some of it makes sense, but I don't want to insult them because when we go over there, men like ourselves, they admire us, and it isn't an insulting thing. It's doing something that most men can't do, and that's control your emotions, man. Like you gotta it's a behavior. It's a learned behavior. But at the end of the day, man, men they're not even checking for it. That's why they don't see it, because the men that are down there are not on their levels, whether it be with charisma or with their way with words, with the way the world responds to them in general. A lot
Like
of those
my
guys,
husband think it's so funny. He be
the way
like,
the world responds to them.
he
And
thinks my husband thinks it's hilarious. He be like, the men like listen to this and they like. I guess it's just funny to men who really like real men, Jan. Like men. I don't want to say real men because I don't want to discredit the men who think those ideologies are important. I'm just saying that men who really have healed and really have no issues with women and really have come to a place in their life where they are emotionally intelligent enough to recognize those things, they really don't connect with that. They don't have hate in their heart. They just don't really feel those things that the manosphere produce. That's just my opinion and what I see.
Well, you know what's crazy?
I need a
Go ahead,
quick
King.
crash course because I'm
Go
new.
ahead, King.
I don't know what the red pills,
Oh, you
blue
don't know what
pills,
the
or the
red pill
manosphere
is?
is. I'm
Oh,
new here. I've been here
Yeah,
about
you don't
48
get
hours.
right. Now he's a fact. You've really been here for 40 hours and making killing it.
Man,
But I want to
I
say,
don't even know these terms. I need a quick crash course or
what
something.
what happens is I don't want to even talk about them, but I want to say um, we have to be fair and honest though. There's part of the manosphere that's not like what you think it is,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
There's a manosphere like Playboy, whereas that they don't subscribe to the other half, like the ones that scream at people when they don't get their way. That's not the manosphere that I knew or I heard about. The real manosphere is they act like Playboy. They're confident when they walk in a room. They know what's up. Mr. O, they know what's up. Hef, they know what's up. They don't gotta say anything. You
That's
feel they
right.
present. That's the manosphere that I know. Whatever's happening right now, I don't know what that is. I think it's a bunch of men. I think Mr. Playboy said it in the beginning. He says a bunch of men that really don't get girls like that.
They trying to copy them.
They got a voice.
They
You
trying to
can
copy
explain it
the
better.
men
Explain
who
better.
really get the girls. They
It's
really,
I think what it is it's nerds that are blaming women for women not wanting them. Like, cause see,
Right.
with the red pill shit, I can agree with some of the stuff they say, like especially when it comes to like holding everybody accountable, women too. But I will never stand behind a dude blaming a woman for you not getting chose. That's on you.
Mhm.
So it seems like it's a lot of dudes mad and they are nerds. They don't know how to talk to women. So they go try to make money to make up for what they lack. But the women get with them, get the money and leave still.
well,
Money can't
YouTube
change
created a
if you're
space.
not real.
Well,
Huh?
YouTube kind of created a space for them to be able to like if you are articulate and you know this is your
You talking
thing.
about Kevin, my frat brother? You talking
Yeah,
about Kevin?
yeah, if you have that gift of gab, you can reinvent yourself on YouTube. And so
You
it's
talking about the lead attorney?
yes, I'm talking about all those men who have capitalized off of this entire atmosphere because they have the gift of gab, you know, because they were able to kind of ease their way in and kind of recreate what they wanted to be when they was growing up.
But you know, but there's a paradigm shift that's happening, right? And so the personalities that you see on the panel, every one of us,
Thank
I'm
goodness.
not I'm not mad because we're about to go to the bank as well. Because people are starting to switch and they need people in the forefront to represent that school of thought. And everybody on this page represents that school of thought. So I'm happy because sometimes you need chaos to get peace, right? Sometimes you need that. And now the new wave coming in. It's always a switch, and we just happen to be at the right time. Everything's about timing. Everything. I don't care how much skill set you have. I don't care how handsome you are. I don't care how smart you are. It's all about timing. And right now we got the timing. It just happens to be on your birthday. Happy birthday! Happy
Yeah, happy
birthday! Happy
birthday.
birthday, Tawana.
Listen, do everybody have a drink? Because I feel like I want y'all all to drink with
Oh,
me
I'm about to
on my birthday.
do
Like,
I got some
I want
water.
Ooh.
y'all to all drink with me before we wrap this thing up. And we like, yeah, you go get you something to drink, Hef. I swear, like, I appreciate y'all so much. Like, y'all showed out today.
We
Y'all
had a
liking my
conversation.
page. Everybody on here, I bet you better like and subscribe to my channel
I'm gonna pull up with
because
the baby
I
bottle
am
today.
definitely all right. I
You
appreciate
want
that.
to like
This is the best.
cash
This
so
is
you
one of
Everybody,
the
just
best tequilas. Casa
oh
Dragones.
go ahead. What'd
oh
you say? What is that? What is
man,
that,
so
King? 'Cause
It's
I
the
love.
best. One of the best tequilas. It's called Casa Dragones. It's actually made by a woman. One of the master
Mm.
tequila was a woman, probably the only one in the world. It's called Casa Dragones. And if they don't serve this at your restaurant, then you need to get your money back. You're at the wrong motherfucking restaurant. This is the
Playboy, what are you sipping on?
I got some lemon water. I'm
Okay.
doing now I'm doing
I said
doing
for
18-hour
amino acid.
fast this week.
oh
Okay.
I don't
wow.
want to
Okay.
be the only
Yeah.
one without liquor. I'm drinking my last bit of protein, so that's what I got
There we
tomorrow.
go.
So drink
There we
whatever
go.
you drink. I'm not suggesting that y'all drink liquor.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever drink y'all have, I want everybody on that's live right now to
Okay.
grab a drink.
Make a birthday wish.
Grab a drink.
Make a birthday wish.
I'm gonna make a wish, but I can't tell y'all what it is. Can
Oh,
I?
don't tell us. Don't tell
No,
us.
tell us.
Okay.
Don't
I'm gonna
told
make
us
a
nothing.
wish.
Happy birthday.
I'm gonna make a wish, but I want everybody on here to tell me their wish for me.
Hmm.
I'll go first.
I would love to hear
I'll
your
go first.
wish for me.
I,
Okay,
I,
go
I,
ahead, King.
I pray that next year you have 50,000 subscribers on your next birthday and you are sponsored by your favorite wine or spirit company. Cheers.
Black Girl Magic. Black Girl Magic.
That's
Hear
festive.
that. Thank you. All right, Chris, come on. You next.
I just wish a successful year coming up. You know, we chop it up all the time. You getting better every day.
Mm-hmm.
All those little things gonna disappear. So I just wish a successful year.
Thank
Growth.
you, Chris. My brother from another mother.
You part of CYP?
Huh?
You part of CYP?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
part of
Yo,
CY.
you had one of your members try to beat me up last time. One of my
Cool.
He was like, yo, that's our Ashanti. Don't talk about her.
That was Carlos. That was
What
Carlos.
are you talking about? Because I was going back, I was going to war with everybody. I was
Yeah.
fighting everybody, but he just came out of nowhere. That's my Ashanti, though. I said, you got it.
Carlos don't play about me. Like, I will be live tomorrow on Mr. CYP. Y'all can follow them as well. I will be live tomorrow at 5:30. That's Pacific time, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually 7:30 Central Standard Time. Okay.
And everybody, I'm the Evolutionary Playboy on Instagram. I want to follow everybody on there.
Please.
So I'm
Yes.
not following.
Evolutionary paper. If you drop your YouTube, I'll share it in the chat. Okay.
Okay.
Remind me, my name.
Mr. O, what's your wish for me? You know, you
My
just
wish-
met me though. So
I do. I know that you are a wife and a mother, and I pray that you and your husband grow to see your age together. You know, somewhere beautiful. And you gotta. Getting old is earned, man, and a successful marriage is something that's earned, man. And you got to be able to afford to get old together, man. So it ain't as cut and dry and a gimme as you think, but like that is something to definitely be proud of, and I want that for you. Because
thank you.
I don't
Ooh,
know that.
I receive all of that. I receive all of that.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Thank you. Y'all take a drink for that. All right, Hef, you know.
Kanye's drunk. Relax.
Player shit. You got to give us some player shit.
Look, all I'm gonna say is, baby, just keep this youthful look going. Keep on aging effortlessly. You know what I'm saying? Find this wine. Do your thing, baby. Do your thing.
Thank you. Thank
Kudos
you
to that
so
lucky
much.
ass man you got at home.
All right, Jen, last but not least. I can't
So
wait to hear it.
how am I supposed to go after them two?
Right.
Listen, beautiful, beautiful woman. Thank you, first of all, for being you, for accepting me as I is. I wish you nothing but love,
Mm.
peace, and happiness as a mother, as a wife, okay, as an entrepreneur. Happy birthday. You make 38 look fabulous.
Yes, you
Thank
do.
you.
Yes, you do.
Thank
You know, and one more thing. We're gonna do this for you, right?
Okay.
Jen and I are reinventing the game. When she gets monetized this week, we're gonna have a monetization party. So that means online. That means when if she gets a super chat, we all come in and we donate. And when you get monetized, we have our monetization party. We're gonna do that because what happens is this is a business, right?
That's right.
So how do you shower people when they get monetized? You show them love on the first day of their business.
That's
And
right.
that's what we're gonna do. We
And
do
you know what, Jen?
business showers. We do business showers. That's what we
That's
do.
right. Jen,
I just posted
drop your
my
YouTube because I'm gonna tell everybody to go to Jen's page, subscribe, like her post,
She's
watch
at
her.
990 already. She
I
started at
posted mine.
9. She at 990 already.
All she needs is 10 more. All she needs.
I didn't
Go
even know
watch
that.
the show Jen did on Marilyn Monroe. It was dope.
Y'all gotta go to Jen on the Block.
No,
Like I've
97,
been
97,
binging her YouTube. I've been binging because like I'm like, oh, I'm just catching up. Like she is so dope. She is so real, and like you gotta watch her. You gotta subscribe.
and Darrell too.
Everybody on here, I'm going to like share y'all YouTube, share y'all IG, whatever y'all want me to share. Put it in the private chat, and I'm gonna make sure I share it with everybody. Thank you guys so much for
I'll link in there.
checking in with gems and jewels. Like y'all drop so many gems and jewels, it's ridiculous. And if y'all didn't catch it, I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna repost it. I'm gonna cut it up. I'm gonna highlight Hef and Mr. O because they was like, you know, and they so I just appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, my panel, my panel members. Y'all support me. I love y'all. All right. Peace
All
out.
right.
Love,
So,
love, 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 love.
Love. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Drop y'all information so I can follow y'all on like IG.
But Chad's starting to pay now. He
Yes.
has one, but